In today's tutorial, we are going to develop our ability to create figures, those tiny figures that we paint in watercolor landscapes and streetscapes. So the approach is we will create some initial shapes by splashing some colors, and then we will observe those colors, those shapes, and then we will try to see some figures in action in those stains of colors that we have made. This is the final outcome of today's tutorial. Without further ado, let us start the tutorial and have some fun. I am using a cold pressed watercolor paper around 300 GSM, 100% cotton. As a beginning, I am splashing some paint watercolors on the paper, and the idea of splashing is that I will get some uncontrolled shapes, sort of random shapes. It may not be precisely random, and I am trying to keep them in a single line with approximately similar size. Okay, so they all should look like some shapes or some figures walking away or walking towards me. That is a rough idea. Okay, I'm trying to get such kind of a splash, and as you can see, there are a lot of droplets falling all over the place. I'm trying to take out all those things from using a tissue paper. Okay, and now my idea is that I should observe these shapes, and I try to visualize them as figures, and once I get some idea of how these figures, how these shapes can be treated as figures, I will then go and draw on top of these shapes with a waterproof pen. So I want this to be dry. Okay, so since I am planning to draw on top of it with a pen, I want this to be dry. So I am lifting out also all of those accumulated paints and then letting it to dry. Okay, so it is dry now. So I am starting with whatever shape you are getting the first idea with. Okay, this looks like a person. So I mean, see, the shapes may look like a complete figure, or it may look like a part of the figure. So you don't have to really try to see a complete finished figure on these shapes. See, this looks like a head. Okay, now you can then accordingly you can try to see some dress or some body movement, etc. This also looks like a person's head, a person moving slightly, leaning his head forward. This looks like a person riding a bicycle. Okay, some of these lines I somehow felt that his upper body looks like as if he is riding a bicycle. See, it is really challenging to get these ideas initially. So you may find it very difficult. You may see something which is different than what I see, because we all see it differently. Okay, so and initially if you try this, you may not get it. You may not get these ideas. So it takes some kind of a tuning, some kind of an exercise to your brain to start seeing these kind of things. So observe, do this, and do this practice and observe it, and try to go back, stop the video, try to go back and try to see yourself. If you can see what I am seeing, or if you can see something different, try to develop that sense of seeing. Okay, that is the main thing. Once you start seeing it, you can easily draw it. Now in this case, I am not seeing much, I am seeing only part. The stain forms only part of the image, rest you can draw. So that is how I proceed. Now it looks to me, this looks like a group of people, and I haven't yet decided who is going forward, who is going backward. In some cases it is clear, as in some cases it may not be clear. So try to do this, this kind of exercise. Splash the colors, let it dry. If you're using a pen drawing, let it dry, and then try to see the figures and then try to draw on top of it. So this is one way of practicing. I do different types of these kind of practices, and I don't always draw with pen. So but I wanted to add some clarity to my thinking process by making pen drawing. Okay, now I think some of these ideas are clear to you also. Now it is almost ready for the coloring process. Okay. You can also practice. You don't have to worry about the color that you are using. You can use any color, okay, because it is too pale. So whatever color you want, you can use it. I prefer to draw these kind of directional lines because they push the figures a little far away and create depth. Now coming to the colors, I have see the choice of colors is I leave it to you. I am just picking up some blues, some purples, some red, some orange. So these are usually my choices. I am using a watercolor pan set from Bristol. You can use any brand that you prefer. Here the colors doesn't matter too much. Of course the tones will matter. Wherever you think the figures will cast shadows, or some of the portion of the figures will look darker, some of the figures will look lighter because of the sunlight coming from above. So you can take those decisions, but what color is purely your choice. Okay. I am not going to explain too much on what should be the thickness of the color, what should be the color, etc. because those I leave it purely to you. And even if you make a green color instead of a blue color for the shirt, it will still work. Okay, so try to use some kind of a brighter color and some darker colors. So that is what I usually prefer to do. Now at this point I am focusing more on the upper body. Okay, and once the upper bodies are done, I will also start looking at the lower bodies. I already have the clarity because I have made the drawing. Okay. Try to have some variety in the colors, some variations. Don't use the same color for every figure. Try to use couple of colors and spread them across the figures. And I am using a small round brush which is from Escoda Prado number 8 brush. I think we are almost done with the upper bodies, and now we can start looking at the lower bodies. Here I am just suggesting the shape for somebody pedaling a bicycle. Okay, so it doesn't have to be precise because we are just practicing. The focus here is not the precision. We should somehow get the overall body movement. See, why we are practicing this? We should be able to develop the ability to create figures at will, at our wish, on our streetscapes and landscapes. So we are trying to develop that skill. This is not supposed to be a full-fledged presentable painting. This is a group of figures in doing different actions. Okay, probably they are all walking on a street in different body movements. They are holding different things. There are some of them are holding some bags. Okay, they are in different dresses. So I mean these kind of various actions, figures in various action, we are trying to I mean develop the ability to create figures in different action. That is the overall idea. Okay, so the precision is not that important. It is what kind of a movement that you feel at the end of the day, at the end of the practice. Look at each figures. Are the figures look convincing in their action? That is what I am interested in. And the precision we can always get it later. Okay, getting a good action in the figures is more important, and that is a challenging one. And making them precise is not as difficult. And in loose subjects, loose landscapes or streetscapes, precision is not that important, I would say. It is the story, it is a kind of aggressiveness in the movements, the believability in the movements. Those things are important. These are my views. Okay, and with those views, I am practicing this. If you are liking this video, and if you think there is some value in it, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. I am planning to upload more videos every week. Okay, so if you really like it, please do subscribe and share it to your friends who also may benefit from these tutorial videos. If you have any question or suggestions, please do write them into the comment box below. I will surely try to come out with my responses. See, here I am suggesting some exposed body parts like the front of the face, okay, the hands or some part of the legs, etc. And to have some kind of a contrast, I am using thick pigment, and for this part alone I am using orange color from a tube from Camel Artist Watercolor tubes. I am using orange color. Okay, for rest of the paintings, I took colors from Bristol 24 color pan set. I'll try to put the details in the description box below. I think we are pretty much done. Okay, so you think you are getting with the face and with the hand. You are seeing that some of the figures, most of the figures are walking towards us, and these two figures maybe they are going away from us. It is up to you how many, who should go look the other side, who should walk towards you. It is all based on what you see in those shapes. You can take the decision. Okay, fine. I think it is fine. It is looking good as a group of figures. Some of the figures are a little far away, and some of the figures are closer. Some of the figures are maybe slightly taller. We have the variety. Okay. So overall, it looks convincing to me. Please do practice. It is not as easy as it might look. It is challenging. See, I am just adding some white color directly from the tube. Okay, it is white color watercolor tube from Camel. See, the idea of this is to bring in some highlights and highlight those figures so that these figures get popped up, and some of their shapes are corrected. Even though I say that the precision is not important, but some kind of clarity, adding some clarity, some correction can even improve it. Okay. Since these splashes that we have initially made have random edges, it is good to clarify some of the edge of these figures. I think we can add some shadows to these figures. Okay, so whether we should add shadows or not, it is our call. So what is your primary objective? If you think your primary objective is done, you are done with that, you can avoid these shadows, but having these shadows actually hooks them properly to the ground, the ground, and the way the road is, the ground is oriented, and the kind of the feel that these figures are properly grounded, properly connected to the ground. We get that feeling with the help of shadows. And it also improves the composition, because all these figures are vertical elements, and these shadows could be some horizontal elements, and it can improve the overall composition. Now I am adding some foreground here, some pale wash of purple, blue, etc., so that we get little bit more on the depth. Now you can see that the depth of the road is slightly improved. Okay, so we can also do this for the sky. See, I don't want to complicate it with many other elements. I might just do the sky and the road. I'm just sort of wetting some portion of the paper to suggest them as some simple sky. Okay. Now pick up some colors and make the sky. That's it. Then we will be closing it. What colors for the sky we should use? Some grayish blue color. And since the paper was already made wet, you will see that wet on wet spread is happening. So with the wet on wet approach, you can quickly make these skies, and you can also make interesting skies. I will just leave the bottom area of the sky because I don't want to make it complicated. I think this much is sufficient for the sky. Little bit of maybe a little bit of darker tones. I don't know which color should match. See, at this point, if you are making the sky, the color of the sky should match with the overall color scheme that we are using. So we should use from from the same kind of family of colors, I think. Okay, this looks good to me. Slightly bluish, purplish color. Okay, and you may have a tendency to make it more pretty, more precise. Try to avoid those kind of feeling. Okay, and since some of these water droplets are falling down, I'm just lifting out some of the colors, maybe softening it. And overall, I feel that this is good enough. This has come out overall good, and we can treat this as done. So now it is dry, and the clouds and the ground looks good, figures look good. I am signing it now. Thank you for staying with me. Hope this was informative. Please do practice. Practice is the key. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel, and the more happy you will be to paint figures in your landscapes and in your streetscapes. So if you have any question, please do let me know. Write them into the comment box below. If you think it is useful, helpful, please share it to your friends who may also benefit from this video, and please do subscribe to my channel and press that bell notification. Your suggestions, your views, your thoughts will always help me in improving the content of my channel. So thank you very much again. We will soon see you with another watercolor tutorial, and happy painting until then. Thank you.